just realized I was going to turn that light off, but we're fine. It's fine.
Oh, goodness. I'm so grateful that Matisse is here first.
I'm just always grateful when Matisse is here. In general.
First, taste, and last.
I got it open this time.
Oh.
Got it started anyway. Oh my god. Like.
Ooh, I got it. Hold on.
Here we go.
Your new podcast, Matisse. No, shoot, now I'm going to be saying it, but I was,
Taste of the season.
Taste of the season. You can even get a little funky with it.
Oh my goodness. How am I?
So, your old friend Croaky here isn't doing the best.
Why do you have two T's at the beginning of? Oh, because you. Okay, I think I see what you're doing.
But yeah, I'm not sick. I'm having some sort of a injury at the moment, and so it is. I'm not at my tippity top, shall we say? So I beg your forgiveness. Something that
Laughing at Matisse's comment, not you and your pain. I'm sorry, baby.
I know something that you wouldn't know. Today, a special day in the U.S. because it's the beginning of football season, real football, not soccer football. And something that those outside the U.S. might not know, there was a quarterback who was fairly well known during his time. He's retired. His name was Matt Ryan. Can't believe I almost forgot his name. Matt Ryan. And his nickname was Matty Ice. Matty Ice is, of course, a pun on a nickname for a beer called Natural Ice. The nickname is Natty Ice, and so that's why his nickname was Matty Ice. But now every time I hear it, I just think, or
you think of Matisse.
Excuse me. Or double excuse me. I actually got to write that in the document so everybody can see it. I'll jump to the purple section so that we're ready. But here we go. Yeah. Now let's put that in a font we can appreciate it. Oh, that isn't gonna work. It's gotta have the umlaut in it.
Oh, you may be bringing up some bad memories here. I don't know how many jokes got on your nerves, but Matisse says that there were many bad ice jokes in his childhood because
Really?
Because ice means ice.
Oh. Huh. What other what was I going to say? How do you say it when it's a word that has another meaning but only informally? Like sometimes as a joke. What is the word for this?
Like slang?
Yes, slang. How is ice, used elsewise in Dutch? In English, ice, of course, can be a verb that means to kill somebody. Generally thought of as kind of like old gangster slang. Similarly, with old gangster slang from the 20s is using ice to refer to jewelry. And so those are the...
That stuck around a bit longer, though.
Oh,
because it got revamped.
No, it did. Well, ice is still in use. Everybody knows it because you have to know it for movies. To ice can also mean to put ice on something for an injury. But like, yeah, it's not very clever, Matisse.
Right.
Um,
Also, we have several colloquialism, pun, double entendre, innuendo.
that's it.
Except innuendo is
No,
not what.
innuendo's got to be sexual. Same with double entendre, really. Do we have any other
Other than
uses where like ice means something else?
well, to ice a cake.
Oh, right. That's a genuine second meaning. And then there's also to put something on ice as a literal meaning is to put like
Chill it.
beverages in ice, but that can also mean to postpone. Um, to I actually to postpone or to cancel, put those ideas on ice. I don't know.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah, they have ice cream.
ice cream. Yeah,
That's super common throughout Europe.
which is lovely.
Yeah. Um, anyway. But yeah, no harm intended. Really, we just love you, Mateus. I hope everybody knows that.
Yeah, I will say like, because ice, in German mean ice cream,
Yep.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you have Ei, which is egg, or
Yeah.
Eier.
Yeah.
And so when I would see mit ice, I would at first get confused, thinking it had something to do with eggs.
Oh.
And then it was like, oh, with ice cream.
What's-
And it also then once like it was really in my head that it's ice.
Ooh.
And then I would be like, it was a bizarre thing for me to realize they weren't asking about ice cubes, but were asking about
Yeah.
ice cream.
What's the proper way to say it? Is it mit Eier or mit Eiern?
I feel like it's iron with an N.
Oh. Oh, Dutch egg is spelled like German egg.
Yeah, yeah. Oh no, yeah, I
There's-
definitely have the A.
Listen, we English speakers don't distinguish that vowel before G. So help me.
We don't distinguish it, but I have a dialect where I have the higher up, and so people sometimes don't know what I'm saying. And I've had that happen before. And I also had somebody randomly come up to me after they heard me say the word leg, and they like gave me a hug because they were like, I'm from Oklahoma and I haven't heard that in so long. And like it was
Huh.
at a conference. And so it's like, it is a sort of Missouri, Oklahoma regional, it goes beyond that, but there is a very regional aspect to some of those pronunciations.
There's a weird one in that there's a definite dialect group for people that say, and I would say only with this word, and it brings up a host of images, is people that say negative.
I don't say that.
It's something I
Negative,
only recall
negative.
hearing or seeing in sports commentators. It feels very Midwest to me. Negative. Oh, vague. Yeah, you can't do vague. It has to be vague, doesn't it?
Yeah,
But leg
vague.
could be either leg or leg. Doesn't matter. Egg is another one. Vague is very specific. That's funny. I knew this at one point in time. So I did a whole thing about
What
it.
about the Hague?
Oh yeah, the Hague. The Hague has got to be vague too.
Well, and then there's also like how you pronounce Lego. Some people Lego, and I have to really think about it because that's apparently the preferred pronunciation for most people.
Nah.
Whereas Lego is how I want to say it.
Lego is how I've always said it.
All right.
So funny, by the way. I always associated this with like SoCal English, especially Spanish speakers. But in Spanish, it would be Leo. Leo with a open. You don't raise it unless it's in front of a coda.
All right.
All right.
Let's do this.
Yeah. So We were going to talk about sentential clausal coordination, or that's what the poll was about. There were 5 options here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We narrowed that to 3 that we were pretty happy with, um, and it was kind of like an either or both situation. Um, so the options that we had, incidentally, you can see my delightful version of Patreon, which is when they updated the website. Safari is apparently incapable of producing italics.
Hmm.
If you look at this on something else, these will all be italicized, not on Safari. It's very frustrating. Um, anyway, so for sentential coordination, if you'll recall, for noun coordination, we use the word for mud to coordinate noun phrases and like things like adjectivals.
Medial mud.
Medial mud, yeah. So that one. And so option A was, well, we simply extend that. It works for nouns. We're going to go ahead and make it work for sentences too. If we do that, we would need some other way to convey thenness. So I came up with these 2 sentences. The beaver is swimming and the mouse is singing. And this could be a description of just something that's happening at, a fun Sovala picnic.
Mm-hmm.
Beaver is in there swimming, the mouse is singing, others are dancing, getting food ready.
Sovalic and Socalic are so close together.
Sovalic?
That's what you said, a Sovalic picnic.
I didn't.
And so then I was like, Socalic picnic.
It sounds a little bit too much, or it rhymes with something that I wouldn't want to suggest.
I'm gonna have to think about that.
It'll come to you, and when it does, oh boy. Anyway, so that's 2 things happening simultaneously. You could also say the beaver swam and then the mouse sang. And it should be and the mouse sang, not the mouse is sang, which apparently it is for every single one of these examples.
What?
Yeah, look, the mouse is sang.
The mouse is saying. And you can't take that away from him.
Oh, that's humiliating.
You can't unsing his sing.
Oh, terrible. Especially since I was supposed to convey the consecutiveness. Here, the idea is that and suggests the beaver swam first, and then later the mouse sang. Not that they're happening simultaneously.
So somebody sang the mouse. It's like the mouse is an anthem.
Oh, the mouse, she is sang. The beaver swam, and then everybody stood up, and the mouse is sang. Mouse, 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 mouse.
They
mouse,
sang
mouse.
that mouse.
And then they raise the mouse up on the flagpole. The mouse is saluting himself as he's being hoisted. Time to sing the mouse.
Good old Wojala.
And they sang it so well that they sang the mouse down.
That wouldn't be singing it well. Anyway. Okay.
Their singing brought the mouse down. There.
Who brought the mouse down?
Ooh, no. Squeak, 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 squeak. Here we go.
I'm glad we crack each other up.
Yeah, I know. All right. So that was one option. The other option was to use the verb follow or join to create sentential coordination. Originally, this might have arisen because of sequential ordering, but it would overgeneralize and take over, so that essentially it would, just like the other one, do simultaneous and sequential ordering. So it's the same thing, but with a different word. And we haven't created this word yet, so that's why the X's are standing in there. So that was B.
Oh, I thought we were just going to make it...
Fits with the beaver language.
It's a grinder.
Yeah. That's like the David Lynch thing, a Lynchian coordinator. Just speaking normally and then suddenly... And then you just
keep going on.
Yeah. Okay, so that was option B, and option C was to do both of them, with the mud one expressing simultaneous action, while our new one, which would specifically have to come from like follow probably, I think, would express sequential ordering. So that was the vote. The vote wasn't unanimous, but it was a blowout. Option C won. They love the distinction, and that's good. I think that's fun. I would have been happy with any of them, but I think this is fun.
Nice.
And now we don't have to worry about then.
And yes, we did use his as the negation marker in Tapahla.
That's right. Yeah.
Good old Tapel, hey.
Yeah.
Which is now, is it mostly uploaded on your wiki? Because Ingala was, and I know Tapahla was getting there. Is it?
Well, not verbs. The thing is like, but let's go ahead and show this. We have, so I have this wiki here where I add words from languages I've created, and it's like Wiktionary. So for example, let's put something really basic in here, something like the sequence ME. You can see this shows up as a word in 7 of my languages, at least thus far. In the Orcish language from Bright, it is, the word for river. Well, that's nice. Kind of like that.
Do you know what else I like? You searched ME and the first M was capitalized, but it still pulled up all the results, and not like Wiktionary where it was like, it either doesn't exist because there's a capital letter, or you mean you're only speaking German.
Blame German. That's the reason that Wiktionary has that.
Well, they should learn not to care and still give German as an option with a capital version of the same word.
Yeah.
Anywho, sorry,
Yep.
go on.
So
it means river?
Yeah, in Castathan, it's a postposition, right? Yeah. Two towards. In Dothraki, of course, it's the third person singular pronoun.
Of course.
Yep. And then look what we have here, Angala.
Yeah, with the orthography and everything.
That's right. And also, it's even vertical. Somebody fixed that. It was Baptiste fixed that. And by the way, I didn't even notice another kind of little screw. Me is a third person singular pronoun in Angala. It's one of them. So there are more, of course. It is the rabbit third person singular pronoun. But yeah, just like Dothraki. Didn't even realize that. It's also a word in Henlinga. And this one, like, I didn't create. It was Sapkowski created it. It's one of the objective or possessive forms of the first person singular. And then in Arathian, it's something. Oh, it's no. That's right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
What's it in Sangheli again?
Sangheli, it is. Oh yeah, it's a case marker. The inessive, and also like all of them. There's no genitive in Sangheli, so all of the postposition markers can be used as possessive depending on the relationship. It's pretty cool, actually. Anyway,
Nice.
but now we're starting to add our LangTime Studio languages to the wiki, including a word like non.
Oh my God, you put the drawing up.
You bet I did.
Oh.
I had options, and I thought this one was the most fitting.
Yes.
And now you can see at present, 4 different etymologies of Canaan. Because, of course, the first Canaan, which is nose, once there's a derived term. The second Canaan is the word for 1,000, which is 1,000 in base 6. So in base 10, it's 216. We have the third Canaan, which is the word for truth, which I thought was very inspired. I think somebody else came up with that idea. And then the fourth Canaan, which now means mystery and is generally reserved for the mysterious, the grand mystery of life.
The fifth Canaan is unspoken.
Fifth Canaan is unspoken. There could be more. Or could be more. Anyway, so this little inflection table. If I can jump into the code for a second, I'll show you. It's so you see this inflection right here. It has it so that, no wait, this is the inflection table. So that you can put what the word begins with, the rest of the word, and then the rest of the word in the dual nominative, and then it automatically generates the rest of the table.
That's insane.
So the reason why it takes so long to sometimes put these things up is those tables.
Yeah.
So that we can create them. And that's why there are no verbs from Tapahla up yet. Someday.
Hot mess.
Someday. Yeah, there are Ingala nouns, but not verbs yet, because I haven't That's the one. Remember the reduplications?
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
oh, I remember.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
All right. So,
and I will say, Patrick says, now I feel like I finally get the Kanan bit. And, it's really funny because it's like, it's one of those things that you get, and like I understand that it was a big deal for us and our viewers, and it was this long running gag, and it just became the Kanan thing. But if you ask me how it started or why, I have no idea. Like, why were we so obsessed with Kanan
I think
of all things?
I think it was just something that I made up, like just the sequence. But where it came from was looking at our noun change, our sound changes,
Also
and
known as noun changes.
yeah,
Yeah.
and realizing that we could have like several different sequences in the proto language that all showed up as the same word. Um, and yeah, I don't
And
know
we got
why.
stuck on Kanan.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought of Kanan, but that was
It's
just
Anyway. Oh, also David's vocal performance abilities. That does sound likely.
That is the third Kanan.
Yeah, that sounds about like how it got started.
We were referring to the second. And then everybody.
Exactly. But speaking of those sound changes that sometimes come out as noun changes, depending on whether you have, like obviously S's going to N's and final D's dropping. I am already working on the next podcast,
Ooh.
the material for it, which will drop on October 1st. And for patrons following along, you may remember that the next podcast is going to be the start of another LangTime challenge. And I am quite excited. And I want to finish it just so that way I can record it so David can see the challenge, because I'm quite excited to unveil it to him. And so then you all will see it October 1st. And this one will be done in advance, so I bet I'm going to have it ready to drop at like midnight our time on October 1st, so that way all of our friends in Europe and Australia will actually get it like fully in the middle of the day, and it's very exciting.
Right on.
So, oh, and yes, Let's Have a Booba has an ongoing challenge right now that finishes in 5 days. So if you're feeling like you're missing out on the LangTime challenge, hop over and do the Hrab challenge, and then be ready for October 1st.
Jake, I went ahead and made you a moderator. If you would like to post a link to that Let's Have a Booba challenge in chat. I believe that if you're a top level moderator, you can do that. Otherwise, I don't think you're allowed to post links in chat. Anyway.
And Jake, all time zones that are not the time zone I'm currently in may as well be grouped together in one, because it's not my time zone.
Mm-hmm.
And so there we have it. Australia, Europe, it's all the same.
Yeah.
All the same. You're ahead of me. I think about it as I'm posting things that are going live internationally, and I'm like, gee, I'm so sorry for all those people who now it's no longer the day that it's supposed to be posted. But there we have it.
Both Jake and Miles live in NMT, not my time zone.
I like it. NMT. Z.
There we go. So both Matthijs and Jake, 20, nice, have posted the link to the Let's Have a Booba challenge in the chat. Go check it out. It should be a lot of fun. And yeah, 5 days, still time. By the way, I did want to mention, because Jake mentioned my evil British voice. If you ever want, this is just an out of the blue recommendation. If you want a total subversion of the kind of like evil British accent, the original Bedazzled is absolutely hysterical. And the fellow who plays the devil, who is it Dudley Moore?
I don't know this film.
Bedazzled, of course, was famously remade with Brendan Fraser in 2000. But the original, not the 2000. Well, click on that one. Oh, wait. No, not that yet.
Click on this.
Well, yeah, sure. It'll
Wait,
work.
what do you want? I'm
It'll
just
work.
trying to.
It's just a slower load. Peter Cook.
Is the
Peter
writer?
Cook
Oh,
and
stars
yeah,
and
Peter
Dudley
Peter
Moore.
Cook and Dudley Moore. Whoever plays the devil, Elizabeth Hurley plays the devil in the Brendan Fraser one, but
Will they be listed as devil?
uh, who? No, because he has a name. This is why I wanted you to go to Wikipedia.
And then you told me to click on the other one, so I did.
Because you were all right.
Wikipedia wants us to support them.
Of the same name. There you go.
Okay.
All right.
And now.
Peter Cook plays the devil. Thank you. Peter Cook plays the devil. And he's just, completely not evil sounding at all. Almost sounds a little dopey at times, and it just makes it so funny. I really recommend Bedazzled. It's a simple story. The other guy, Dudley Moore, he is fallen in love with a woman who won't give him the time of the day, and so the devil offers to make a deal with him for his soul. He says, I'll do this for you, and then you'll be able to win her over. And basically, every single time he asks for something, and that wish is fulfilled, but not in the way that he expects, and so he's constantly, getting one-upped. But yeah, you're introduced to the devil because they're both in a record store. And they're just having a conversation as, Dudley Moore slowly realizes that this guy is the devil. And all he's doing, they're either in a record store or a record factory, he's just pulling out random records, taking out the records, and with his fingernail just going, putting a scratch on them, putting back, and then putting them back on the shelves. It's just hilarious. Anyway. Yeah. Well, I have to say, though, did you really think that it was pronounced boba? And so that's why you called it Let's Have a Booba? Because you were thinking it was Let's Have a Boba, referring to boba the drink? Because if that's the case...
Where are you?
That was just a general comment.
To whom? I see nothing where someone thinks that booba is a boba.
Jonathan's saying, I don't think anyone thought that, but I don't know.
Are you starting a rumor? Are you being the devil right now? Are you taking Peter Cook's position?
I think so. A Sisters reference. That was, let me tell you, I heard that song for the first time, Take Your Mama Out, in the early 2000s, whenever it came out. And I was like, holy smoke. These guys just dropped out of the middle of nowhere and basically produced the perfect Billy Joel / Elton John song just on a lark. Like, wow. Well, now that's another... Oh, there we go. Because IPA. Wow. Hold on a sec. I am clearly not as familiar with the Scissor Sisters discography. Let's see. Let's see if it just shows up. Let's Have a Kiki. Oh my gosh. There is indeed a song, Let's Have a Kiki, by the Scissor Sisters. Wow, I'm going to have to give that a listen. But yeah, love that song, Take Your Mama Out, by the way. Maddie Booth has served its purpose. I will send it away. We were both typing in the same area. feel so sorry for the Scissor Sisters.
You took away my examples?
I think I did.
Like I was.
There you go.
And you took away the Matisse?
Yeah, I did. I thought he didn't like it.
Oh, yeah, you can take that away then. Okay, we know option A didn't win, so I can take that one away. Okay, and I just typed up option B, which is one option, right?
Yeah, but
And now I also made up a word. I think betwixt should be a word. Betwixt, that's what it is.
that's a real word.
Betwixt the clauses. Done. Okay.
Oh, come on, Jake.
No.
Stick with the meter. Unties my heart. Also, that song, Take Your Mama Out, I think it belied the rest of their musical style, because from what I've heard, it's mostly like dance and disco songs. But maybe that was just the sampling of what I'd heard.
To follow. And we had said to follow.
Yeah, I think that we should do follow, and I don't think that we've created the word yet. So that'll be next on the docket.
Okay. Now I can be ready.
Yeah,
we didn't do nah. We did sang. So
yeah, you got to change the tense. Otherwise, it doesn't really make sense.
I don't know how to do that until I view my charts.
Let's just drop a vey in there.
Is that vey?
Also,
Perfect.
I didn't use sleep because it's atelic. I mean, you're kind of forcing it to be telic by putting it as slept, but you only kind of in English. That's why I did swam. I thought it made more sense.
Well, that's fine. Can I take away the is? The beaver is slept?
Must you embarrass me?
And then the mouse sang. Okay, so you had done swim.
Yeah, and then I changed the other one because it made more sense to,
Nuff.
What?
Nuff.
NAF?
NAF.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to...
Oh. I was going to change it. Do you want me to change these to the beaver swam and the mouse sang?
I already did it.
No, you didn't. This whole example right up here that I just highlighted.
Yeah, it's...
Do you want me to change it to tense so that way they're both past tense?
Oh, no. I see what you're saying.
Just so that way it's like, everything about these examples is the same except the coordinator.
Sure. Yeah, let's do it. You're right. Probably get rid of the comma splice, too.
What comma splice are you referring to?
The aberrant comma that is in both of those sentences.
That is not a comma splice? You need to revisit composition, apparently.
It is an unnecessary comma.
No, it's not. It's actually a comma between two full sentences, which is completely normal. And comma splice means you don't have a conjunction. You only have a comma. That means using punctuation only to join, and a comma is not strong enough punctuation. A semicolon is to join two complete clauses.
All right, then. I'm just saying that comma shouldn't be there because I'm seeing it, and it shouldn't be there.
The comma's fine. You do you. This is your document, apparently. So let's move forward and create a word, shall we?
Fine.
Comma spice.
All right, so I have a couple ideas for what to do with this. Can we get rid of this option C, whatever?
Oh, I just want to remember we remembered the verbs. Yeah, we can get rid of it.
Okay.
It was just there for the information at that point.
So I have a couple ideas. One is so could have
Natural.
consonant, vowel, and then essentially uh, frequentive vowel that reduces to CVV, where VV equals either E or O or that or something. So that's one idea. We could have CVC that just reduces to CVC. We could have CVCV. Come on.
I told you need to change that in preferences.
You did, and I never did. Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. Reduces to just that. Oh dear. Something like that. I don't know. So those are just some ideas.
My beloved Ravens are playing tonight, the kickoff game. I just got that notification pop up on my thing.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So,
The Ravens, yes. I have selected them as my favorite team for 3 reasons. First is their uniforms are amazing. Good logo, good colors. I really enjoy that. Second, they remind me of Baltimore, which I have enjoyed every visit we've had to Baltimore, which is lovely. And third, and most importantly, they are the Ravens, named after the poem The Raven, Edgar Allan Poe. I love Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven. And I rather enjoyed quite a bit of his work. I won't say all of it, but quite a bit of it. And I enjoyed The Raven so much that actually my social media username, quoth a linguist, is literally from The Raven. The only reason I didn't choose quoth the linguist to do a full-on play on quoth the Raven, well, there are 2 reasons. Sorry. The first reason is that a double th segment in quoth the linguist pushed together looks ridiculous. The second one is that it felt a little bit presumptuous to say I am the linguist rather than a linguist, which I am, and it was far too presumptuous. Yes, is the word I'm going to stick with, and it does not fit my personality to be that I am the linguist, just not me. So anywho, I am quoth a linguist because of the Raven, and therefore the football team is now my favorite team. I was raised in a Bronco household in Missouri, which is an odd place to be raised as a Bronco fan. But, I figured as an adult I could pick my own favorite team. And so the Ravens, that is it.
it's kind of funny that your family, which lives in Missouri, are Broncos fans. My family, which lives in Denver, they are Kansas City fans.
Yeah, it's a very odd. It's like karma knew that these 2 families had to unite at some point because there were displaced Bronco fans in Missouri and displaced Chiefs fans in Colorado. And so we had to unite the families to make the universe correct again.
Especially galling, as of course the segment of my family, they are from, well, I guess not Terry and Cody, but my uncle is from Los Angeles, and all of us are Raiders fans forever. That he could be a Chiefs fan is really galling. Anyway, I will say this about the Cleveland Browns. They lost their team to Baltimore due to mismanagement. And poor Cleveland, boo-hoo, they cried themselves a river because they didn't have a football team. Cleveland was technically without a football team for, I want to say, 3 months. before they were awarded an expansion team that was just going to be the Cleveland Browns again, who went right back into mismanagement. Meanwhile, Los Angeles, the second largest city in the United States, went 20 years without a single football team. So Crimea River, Cleveland, Ohio, not getting its second football team for 3 whole months. Get out of here.
Um, okay, so I saw there was a suggestion, and Snuggly Squid, I'm so sorry that we can no longer be true friends. But let's reach across the divide and show the politicians how it's done,
Yep.
and we can be friends across those rivalries. Um, and Baltimore, what you need to know about Baltimore, there's some fantastic sculpture in this
Yeah.
museum area that were great fun to see. A lot of really nice little walking areas. Good coffee. We got some really great coffee there.
Yeah, that's true. That was nice. Yeah.
And yeah, you're right there next to a lot of different things because that's actually we were hopping in and out of Baltimore and Washington D.C. at the same time, so the location was nice. And there were a lot of nice brick buildings.
I met a Romanian playwright in Baltimore.
I can suggest Quokka linguist. And yeah, so Quotha is also an old word meaning like he said basically all put together like Quotha could be a form, and that cracks me up. I study quotatives, and so the whole quoth thing really went with quotatives as well. Yeah, Quokka linguist is great. All right. So I think Miles is the only one suggesting forms. If I'm wrong, Miles, who dislocated a jaw in Baltimore, like what?
Yeah.
What?
That's why Miles is really eager for this discussion to end.
Anyway, oh, nice. Oh, that's cool, Bubba. I think Miles is the only one who has suggested forms and suggested a slight revision because Siwu was the first protoform Miles suggested, and then that was revised to Savu, which comes out as so.
Oh, I mean, I see those as two different suggestions, which is fine.
Well, I mean, yeah, then I'll put it on too. I didn't know if Miles was taking the first one back.
Yeah, and both of those work, I think.
You were purposely rolling down a hill with childlike joy, I hope. But man,
we could also I also want to make this suggestion. We've done this a few times where we have a CV form that becomes like morphology, and then we reduplicate that to make it its original thing. So we could have CV be a verb in the olden days, becomes a conjunction, and then it has to reduplicate in order to be used as a verb. So yeah, I would like to have one form like that of our 4 that we're going to do.
Well, we have a frequicative.
Yeah.
Gosh, I gotta remind myself again what these sounds are. The other day, David needed a new word for one of our older languages, and he looked at me and he's like, "What do you want?" And I was like, "I can't even remember the sounds I can choose from." And for David, it's all right there. For me, it's gone. It's gone. It's so sad. Okay. I'm getting there, David. I'm getting there. I'm thinking. Is it frightening when I think?
I like this idea. It's the the doctor. The doctor comes in and gives you your diagnosis. He says, So this is what it is. And you ask the doctor, but is it iconic? Like when I split my lip jumping in a bounce house. No, that was just shameful. However, when when my temple was banged into because somebody threw a door into it, but like I didn't even flinch. That was iconic. Mm.
I have no idea what that would come out as. No, wait, that wasn't an option.
Who recommended Muth?
Well, I'm just typing things. This is me.
Oh, you
Nobody
came
is
up with that?
working. Nobody's working.
You came up with that?
Yes.
Did you do it on purpose? Because of medial mud?
Oh my God, that's amazing. No. I was just looking at the sound charts.
Oh my goodness. Did we have that as a... We have Eth as a proto?
Yes.
Man, I didn't remember that. Look at it go.
I mean, like, literally, I'm just typing things here, so please feel free to get rid of them at will.
Is Biblaridian a Stranger Things watcher?
Oh, I could have that form. I need to remember. I don't remember how to do voicelessness. And so
Oh, we can just say it is.
instead, no, okay, I'm gonna go back to this keyboard. Is it this one? There we go.
That's how the
Oh no, I don't want because we already have an
that's how the secret hidden O in Tundra Ninnitz is written. No, I'm sorry, Potawatomi. So it shows up as nothing when the form should be when the verb would be contracted, but when it's uncontracted, it shows up as O. Otherwise, the only uncontracted vowel you end up with is schwa. They're just some that end up as O. Kind of fun.
Okay. I am done listing forms for you to consider. Your turn. Narrow it down to 4. Put it in a poll. I can put it in a poll. You just need to narrow it down to 4. I will, in fact, get the poll ready.
Okay. One of them is going to be Sabu. Because it's hilarious to me that it ends up as so.
So?
Because in English, that's one way of suggesting sequentiality. The beaver swam, so the mouse sang.
Okay.
That's hilarious.
I need to check. I don't know what happens to these. I should have.
Wait, as in organs, as in organ accumulators.
And new. Where is that? Where is that? And see.
Wait, so the Kate Bush song is based on the Oregons, and then it's like it presents as just so deathly serious, and then you have the Hawkwind song Oregon Accumulator, which makes it sound like the joke that it is, which is that this essentially shyster came up with a little cabinet and says that all of the ills in your life are due to organs, being in your body. And so you just sit in here, and then my cabinet will take the organs out of your body, and then you'll feel better.
Do you have any other favorites?
Okay, so you got that one in there. All right. Next, go ahead and put new in there because everybody seems to like it.
In this one, nothing happens to it, according to Lexergy.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. Okay. Option 3.
We're going to put Muth in there for mud because that's hilarious. And it'll show up as Moo.
It'll show up as Moo.
Yeah, for the
New, that should be spelled NHU, right?
Oh, in the romanization?
Yeah. No?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
But the actual the conjunction is going to be NU. It's going to voice.
Okay. So I'm going to put in the conjunction form. So everyone please be aware that this is just final conjunction form from the protoform. Okay. And one more. I was trying to stay away from ah too much because ga was our other one. But any of these vowels could be replaced with an ah if you're feeling it.
I'm going to change,
That was for...
I'm going to change boring bib to exciting view. And then it's going to show up as V.
B. Okay. So that's changed, right? So it needs to be protoform view.
Yeah.
Changes to V. Okay.
Then we'll
all right.
Clean up here. All right.
Starting poll. We're going to see what you all prefer. It is not binding. Notice it's just which do you prefer.
Yeah, and so the ones that ends up, these are the ones that are actually going to be the conjunction. It's just so, nu, mu, vi. Those are the conjunctions, and then we'll do stuff with the other stuff. So there it is. Bubba, that's going to be a hard thing to do because this language does not have palatals at all.
Right.
So we could be du. GD? Oh, that doesn't sound good.
Patrick, I feel like I'm this close to banning you for saying that 2016 was not a few years ago at all. In my version of time, that was not so long ago.
A+ Fire Walk With Me reference, though. And obliquely a David Bowie reference.
Me? You? What? Who is?
Male. Patrick.
Okay. We have... Oh my gosh. I think...
The way the closest to initial J we have is J into Pala. The way the closest to.
But listen, 8 years ago is the same as a few years ago.
They're not,
It's right there.
Jesse, they're not picking my favorite. What do I do?
Oh, I'm sorry. Do we just leave the poll here? And do you wanna vie for your favorite?
I don't know. I just want to see if there are more votes. How many people we got watching? We got a couple more votes out there, theoretically. Stand up, kick love into motion. Let's go.
Moo is not David's favorite. I'm gonna guess New is not either. I think he liked So and maybe is partial to V for our CEO and Silent Streamer. And I say silent streamer because you never really hear Bib's voice out loud on our streams, and yet Bib is a streamer with us right here, right now.
We've bibbed a little bit on this stream.
We have, but usually,
Got funky with a little leaf blower.
Usually, Bibleridian is, off camera, but still here all the times. Okay. Yeah, I know, right? That year just needs to be put down the garbage disposal of the timeline.
They're refusing to vote, and I don't get to vote.
Listen, I said, which do you prefer? We can have a runoff vote.
Yeah.
We can say, okay, it's nice to know what you prefer. Here's what we want, and here's what we're going to do with the form that you voted for, because we need other conjunctions, David. We need but. We need some sort of contrastive, like they did this, and then unexpectedly this other thing happened. Or we need them to be able to make choices, like did this happen or did that happen? Mm-hmm. And so the one that's winning right now that you don't prefer, we can make it something else.
I would actually love to see a live stream. It's impossible since I'm saying it, but it's with Bibleridian and Jesse, and each of them have been told separately that they are there to interview the other.
For what?
I don't know. I think we just have to end the poll. It's stunningly stable.
Yeah, all right, I'm going to end it. Done.
It's just like an Olympic finish.
Jonathan says it snowed at my outdoors graduation ceremony in May. It snowed when we were in Colorado
yeah.
in May, the end of May one year. And let's say David was shocked.
It wasn't just that it snowed. It's that literally the day prior it was over 90 degrees.
Yeah, it was 95 one day. The next day there was 10 inches of snow on the ground.
Yeah.
And we had a very interesting time driving that night as David put his snow skills to the test.
Oh yeah, Jake, I don't know anything about it. I don't pay attention to these things, honestly. If it was a scam, I believe it. You just say, email me and say, I want to interview for this thing. I'll say, whatever. Talk questions. So David, everybody wants to know, what is your social security number? And then I just give it. Just give it, whatever.
Okay, David.
Yeah.
What is our form for and going to be, and what are we going to make moo? The conjunction.
It's going to be moo.
No, what was your favorite?
Oh.
You need to be happy today. Your eye is making it so neither of us can sleep. So today is about making your little heart happy.
Moo are very nice to me.
And so, you sure we can make moo or? I like moo being or.
You know what? You created moo, and that makes it happy to me. That makes me happy. Now we can have moo mo.
And
Not
also,
really. They would never occur next to one another.
Jake wants to know, how do you say social security number in Dothraki? Which is, of course, a very important concept to those Dothrakians.
Yeah, that was a great end to the BBC interview. It was like, can you say in one of your languages? And it was something like...
Very lengthy.
Yeah, like Thanks for listening to like the BBC radio broadcast program called This, hosted by this and this. It's like, get out of here.
But David does a very good job of coming up with answers and translating something close to what people are asking for, because that is not the first time you've had to do something like that. And you do it. And I'm like, I look at them like with a blank expression on my face, like, I got nothing for you.
If I'm feeling charitable, if I am at mood, then
That's mood.
you know.
Moo?
No, at mood, at mood,
Mood?
at mood,
Mood?
at mood. Then I can do it. If I'm not feeling charitable, then I just get grumpy and angry.
I still love you so. So David got some unknown foreign substance into his eye.
Not substance, it was
we
like
think
a rock.
we think it is a
glass.
very tiny rock, perhaps a large piece of dust, which he's allergic to anyway, and so then it has become a
Now everybody's
growing
gonna be
irritant.
looking at me.
His eyes look totally normal. One may be blinking. I don't know. You mentioned your eye at the beginning.
I did not. I said I had some sort of injury. That was all.
Listen, I've had an eye injury on stream before, where I had to take off my glasses several times. I kept my eye kept watering and crying during the stream. I had to leave the stream several times. Like, it happens.
But you're always pretty. I'm not.
David,
It's true.
so not true. Because,
Absolutely true.
Because you always look good.
Nah.
So
Ask Mateus. He'll give you an honest answer.
anywho, Patrick says get grumpy and angry. What's the change here?
Patrick's just firing on all cylinders today.
Oh no, Miles was driving home after having pho and rubbed their eyes.
Oh.
And I'm guessing some peppers were involved.
Also, book club time? Book club? You're not going to tell us about your book club? You're just going to go and enjoy the book club?
Oh,
On
have
the
fun.
expressway!
Oh man. Yeah, Mateus, I know. It's David and nature don't mix very well. Including the nature that's inside the house. All right, so we have moo and then mooth is to follow. So I will get those on this side. I'm doing my job. I promise. I promise. Here I go.
We didn't put in the other one? What's our other coordinator called? What is it? Because I know it's based on mud. What was it? It was Ga, wasn't it?
Well, ga is the form.
Yeah.
Mud is ga, long A.
We didn't enter it, though. We didn't enter it in the dictionary.
That
I'm going to do that now. I'm going to run up
is
that
an
hill.
awful oversight.
Don't worry about what that noise I just made. You think it should be two separate entries?
Oh. For here, yes. Because one is short A and one is long A.
No. That's not what I meant. The two ands.
On the English side?
No, on this side.
Well, yeah, 'cause one is ga and one is moo.
No, honey, the ga.
Okay.
The one.
Oh, because it joins. No, it should be the same entry. So it conjoins two noun phrases
Also conjoins two clauses where the action occurs, where the action of each clause occurs simultaneously. Okay. All right.
Also, Matthijs was not making that comment about you. It was actually about his housemate who got stabbed by a wasp.
Stabbed?
Stabbed is the verb used in the comment. And so I kept it because if you've ever been stung by a wasp, it does feel like a bit of a stabbing. Wasps are insane.
It sounds intentional, violent. And
Jonathan got sriracha in their eye. Oh, I am so in pain on your memory's behalf. Okay, David.
yeah.
I think it's time for this treat.
And then, yeah, hold on, conjoins two clauses where the action of the second clause follows chronologically. No, follows the action of the second clause. Follows the action of the first chronologically. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. Everybody, another magnificent treat from Jessie.
These are our last two pumpkin cupcakes.
Oh gosh, they're so wonderful. Everything you do is wonderful.
Until I make more. And it's coming on fall.
Yep.
You wouldn't believe it with a 100-degree day. Oh my God.
I think today is actually the hottest day of the year.
It is.
Yeah.
It has not been this hot yet at all. And I just showed David the temperature on the phone to
It's 99.
When I made these, it was cool enough that our windows were open and we were able to just have our windows open all day, and that was lovely.
Mm-hmm.
That's not happening today.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm. Kopi cupcakes haven't been made yet, but now that I've spoken them into existence, Jessie's going to make it happen.
Coffee flavor, I won't use the candies in cupcakes.
You give it a try.
I've used hard candies in baked goods before, and I do not enjoy it. They're hard to crunch up to the right size, which means it's extra work on my behalf. Once they're baked, they become this strange sort of gummy texture that makes the dough around it gross. And so it's not good that way. And it's really not worth the effort then of having gone through crushing up the candies and making a mess. And so, no, I won't. But I will make coffee flavored and put a Kopiko on top of the frosting for you to just eat.
I'd be willing to try it with Kopiko candy, but if we really wanted to do a Kopi cupcake, truly, we just get the coffee. Because remember, they're a coffee company first, candy company second. So there is Kopiko coffee.
Yeah, Jonathan agrees. The texture is just all weird.
Yeah, it'd be the same flavor.
Perhaps, Jonathan. Again, though, I like to get it so finely crushed. It's going to take work, and in general, I mean, it's best in some sort of grinder, but then you have to clean the grinder, and hard candies in grinders. No fun.
Oh, God, what a treat. These are so good.
Are you taking trash?
Oh, you want me to finish that muffin for you?
No, but if you're taking trash, there's my little pile.
I mean, if you needed me to finish that muffin, I'd finish it for you. No, I won't do that to you.
Okay.
They're so wonderful.
So, yeah, Jake Fair. My circulation is not great, but I still prefer being cold over being hot. And so,
I hate being cold.
I will always go for that. What are you looking for?
Look for the Kopiko.
My cupcake wasn't enough for you.
No.
Well, then get Kopiko out.
You want one? No. Don't worry. Everything's fine. Everybody stop looking.
David just dropped the Kopiko.
I just didn't do nothing. Everybody needs to calm down. All right.
All right. Okay, we're gonna be okay. Oh. Oh no, my thing is pausing. Is yours? Are we paused? There we go. Okay, maybe we're back. It was a Kopi calamity.
Huh.
The Kopiko fell. My YouTube like paused suddenly. Not for you all, but for me on my end. And as the person who has the stream actually running through my computer, not, well, it's running through David's, but mine is on the internet side.
It looks, yeah, there I'm moving. It looks all right.
It was just incredibly scary. Cheers.
Oh.
Whew. Yeah, that was. I thought we were done for because my computer tried to fall asleep. I didn't have my cursor in my little hotspot area to keep it awake.
Kopiko on the hottest day of the year isn't hot enough.
Go make me some more hot coffee. Oh, thank you, Jake. I just saw your previous comment. I'm always enough for Jake. I'm struggling. Sorry.
You want help?
Oh my god. It's like, hello. Woohoo. Jake. The sass there. It does look like a little whale.
I really look forward to banning people who complain when we get to the font here.
When is that going to be, by the way? Because shouldn't we, like, already be on it? 6:27?
It's been going a little slow this season.
Whose fault is that? Actually, no one's fault. Let's be honest. This is the best documented LangTime language we have ever done with examples and descriptions. And that takes time. Hence the number of days in Conlang year that are devoted to take some time to write up what you just did. And some people don't need that because they're like, I already did that. And I'm like, good for you. There are many of us who are not as on it.
Patrick, put something else in chat.
Jonathan, I've got so much work to do on my own project, so I get it. I think 2025 is going to be my year of actually doing the conlang. It's
So I can't remember. I was going to say something super important.
was it going to be about the fact that we tested some screen sharing options and you may be able to share my screen?
Oh yeah,
during the live stream where I'll be working. Although I gotta say, I am not a huge fan of that because I feel divided in my attention. And then I feel like I don't get a lot done. And what I do get done, I'm not usually happy with. So it's really difficult.
I remember what I was going to say. So yeah, two things. One about what Jesse said, one a different thing. One, I was just thinking, in the era of absolutely everything being monetized, imagine like you're a viewer of a live stream and you actually have your own monetization system. So indeed, you can make comments that the streamer can't see, and then the streamer gets a little pop-up that says, to view this comment, pay X number of dollars.
Oh my gosh.
Epic. Anyway, but no, there are two things. One, we have a way to stream Jesse's screen. It's always, I always wish we could just stream a program rather than a screen, because then you could control what you're seeing. But also, like, it's such a small thing, but the fact that I now know how to reduce the size of windows on OBS without shrinking them. I think I'm going to be able to set up something nice for font creation. Because, of course, part of the problem is that you still only get, whatever's here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you just have to decide how much of that screen you're going to devote to what, and essentially how small too small is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because if it's too small that like you can't read the text, or it's too small that you can't see what the person is doing, then there's no point of having it on the screen at all. I've wondered that about the chat. Now, of course, like if you're watching it on YouTube itself, like you can just have a replay of live chat and just read it in whatever thing it is. But I've wondered about devoting screen space to the live chat if you can't see it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so anyway, I don't know if people have thoughts on that. Like you can read the chat, right, on the screen, like, and it does add something beneficial to it. Like,
If I go full screen here, can I get out without ruining the?
oh yeah.
Well,
Like, can you read it, or is it too fuzzy?
the whole thing is fuzzy full screen here. Maybe when I'm done with the live stream,
Yeah,
we
maybe
can go
when you're
back
done.
into it. But like everything looked fuzzy.
Yeah.
Oh, Jake is saying it's helpful if you watch back before chat replay is over.
Okay. Look, that's fine. Like Matei says, it's pretty much standard practice on on Twitch. So it's like cool. Yeah, I agree with Jonathan. It's but it's like you don't necessarily have to read all of it, right? It's just like if you want a certain part of the video and want to see what somebody said in chat, then you can go and look at that. You don't have to be reading it the whole time.
So
all
that
right.
way you can remember that Nweda-ing is a potential.
And George is bringing up a very important point. George, by the way, just of Conlangery started season 2 of Tongues and Runes last week, so episode 2 tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. Pacific. Tune into that. But George points out for baffling reasons, if you edit your video after it's posted for any reason, live chat replay is destroyed and can never come back. Which I don't understand why those two things are connected. Maybe it's because it doesn't sync up. I don't know. But like every so often,
It seems like though they could just, because usually it's like to delete a section. And
yeah, I know.
the comments from that same time frame could be deleted. Like
Yeah, I know.
I don't get it.
Also, like we never do that when we edit ours. We edit ours because accidentally sensitive or NDA material shows up on the screen by accident, and so then we have to go and blur it out. And if we ever have to do that, then live chat replay is destroyed, which is really, really lame. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, David.
Okay. So that's good. The coordination is done, except for flavor coordinators. Let's go and take a look at what we have left to do, the big stuff. All right. Questions?
Okay.
So we have our two sets of questions, yes, no questions and WH questions, but our yes, no questions are going to come from our WH questions. So essentially we need to do WH questions.
And we need an or.
Yeah, you're right, which is a coordinator. So yeah, we do need that. So that we need to do numbers, and then it's just going to be orthography. Okay. So what do you want to tackle first? Doing something like what, or doing something like or? I feel like or is more your wheelhouse. Not that what is hard, but like you're particularly good at coordinators for some reason, which I hate. I don't hate that she's good at it. I just hate coordinators. I love that
He
she's
hates
good
that
at
I'm
it.
good at it.
No, I love it. It means I don't have to do work, right?
You're so cute.
I don't have to do work.
Well, my first thought was, to pick, which could actually be two different semantic realms. Because, like, when you pick a flower, you're choosing one and then picking it. Taking it.
If we do that, do you want to do a double coordinator? In other words, it comes before each one that you're doing.
Pick
so
this, pick that.
Blah, 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 pick that, blah, blah.
Well, that could be interesting with the yes/no questions, because then you would like actually get it. Pick the mouse saying, pick what?
Yeah, you're right. And when I said before, of course, it should be after.
Well, but like in the English sort of ordering of it to make sense out of it semantically.
Mm-hmm.
But that could be kind of cool, right?
Yeah, I think that could be cool. So we're in the same position where we're going to need a verb.
Mm-hmm. What was your favorite from the last one, David?
They went in inverse order. So, like, the poll results were absolutely in inverse order.
I would have to look at the poll results again to know. Was V the last?
No, that was the second.
So was the last?
So, yeah.
Well, let's do so. So this, so that?
Yeah, we could do that.
Because so is really cute and small.
Yeah, let's just...
and we have a mu, we have a ga, we'll have a so.
We already have, though.
Oh, we sure do.
Yes, it's going to be Lee.
Okay.
That's fine.
Well, we have a Lee then. A Lee, a ga, and a mu. You know that, so...
Look at this. We're going to have Lee and loose. Remembering Ella?
Doing it all over again.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
I'm going to figure out what to do with that, so...
Yeah. All right, but let's go ahead and write it up. And how do you call these coordinators? These aren't subordinators, right? They're
coordinators.
They're still coordination.
Yeah. Good question, Bubba. When will we vote for David and Jesse, our meanings?
All right. I'm doing something boring right now. You want to figure out the best way for our names to show up in this language?
I can in just a moment. Jake is imagining me as a little minor gnome, and that's so lovely and adorable. Vote for David and Jesse, yeah. We are so confident we don't even need campaign posters.
Yeah. And Jonathan has the right of it. Jesse is going to be very tricky because we don't have palatals. And yeah, Jake pointed out, which is shockingly true, we don't have a word initial j in any of our languages.
That's okay.
Closest we have is retroflex j into pahla. That seems that's a bummer, frankly. Yeah, it's not okay. Zessi, Jonathan is suggesting.
I'm looking. It's not okay. But yeah, Z is definitely an option. Woo. I have to remind myself though, do we have... Yeah, it does go, okay. David, one of the big questions for you is, I mean, do you want any of these to be dental? Do you want a V instead of a V? Or a V instead of a V?
Come up with options, and I'll choose my favorite four, and we'll have
Okay.
people vote for them.
Um,
Oh my gosh, just turn.
okay. Oh my goodness. Um, and you put "or" on the English side. You
Sure
did all
did.
that. Oh, thank
Sure
you,
did.
thank you. Okay, I'm gonna go play in Lexergy for a little bit. So if everyone could just pay attention to whatever David's doing.
What is OR called? Is it a disjunctive coordinator? What are they called? A free select? I don't know.
No, it's not disjunctive because that's where you've got like neither nor. Oh my God, the word. It's right there. Got contrastive.
Oh dear.
Got additive. It's not selective, but it's something like that. Oh, it is disjunctive.
Yeah.
Is technically adversative is what but is. That's I don't use those terms. That's just anyway. Oh yeah, Jonathan is saying Wikipedia says disjunctive as well. Okay. Okay. We're gonna place all of these. Oops. 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 Okay.
Let me make sure that was actually the protoform. Yes, it was. Okay.
All right. What are you doing punching things over there?
Nothing.
All right. I'm gonna find somewhere to type. What are you working on?
Something that we're going to need to discuss.
Ooh. I am potentially almost ready to hear whatever it is you want to discuss.
Hop to where I am at in the document.
Okay. Okay. Let me get that back. And then I'm okay. Okay.
So I've constructed these two examples using the beaver either swam or sang, and then either the beaver or the mouse swam. I think this is fine. This one raises some questions. There is an argument to be made that perhaps Lee is actually a verb here, that the tense goes on the outside, and that it could only appear once. Or it's just a true coordinator and it comes after that. Then the question is, does the tense need to be repeated, or should it only occur once?
My thought is that
Essentially
the repetition is not needed.
There's a gap here. Because we could do this. And that would be sorry, that should be swam.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's just the question. Does this all look right, or do you think it needs to be changed in some way?
My original thought was going to be that repeating could be omitted, so it could be like sale nafli dali. But if you omit the ve here, it feels like the li should go before the ve at the end. Like sale nafli dali ve. And I don't like that.
Yeah.
Also, if we effectively, like where my brain went was like, then could we effectively use Lee to join, just these little tense markers or aspect markers where it's like sale naf veli nali, either did swim or is swimming.
Yeah.
And that, like, I get that, probably some young beavers are out there doing that.
Okay.
But, like, I feel like that's not the general expectation. And so for that reason, I'm going to say your example as is should stand. And that the young hip beavers will probably end up dropping bits out of this.
If I understand you correctly, and I think I do, you're saying that young people basically are spending too much time playing video games.
It's rotting their brains.
Hooking the up, and so they're not learning proper grammar.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
They, in fact, call themselves the beeves. Yeah. They can't even be bothered to say that they are beavers. They just walk around saying we're beeves.
Yeah, and it's really insulting, I think.
Yeah.
To everything that they stand for.
Indeed.
Terrible.
And so their industrious parents are at odds as they're like out there building dams every day and caching up the food. And their kids are just sitting there like dropping these little particles that are really necessary for good communication. Beeves and Butt. They play Beef of Legends all day. Oh my God, that's amazing. Um, all right, David.
So here I'm gonna um, a gap maybe. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave that there and drop a X there and X there. There we go.
So, David, I have
Damn kids.
exactly. Yes, those damn kids. I love it. Um, all right, David.
Hold on a second. I'm really curious about what Jake said, but I can't read it because this stupid thing is covering it.
I just found out that or in Quechua is a loan from Spanish, utak from otak, the additive suffix.
Oh.
Historically, there was no difference, something and effectively. There was no different to. It was no different to and.
It was, if I can translate for that, it was no different from and, effectively.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really is confusing how they use different too. And in this case, I refer to all Britons. I don't even understand what they're doing.
David, I've got options here.
Got it. Okay.
And so if you want to scroll down just below the questions,
Sure,
it's just below the questions. I just popped these in here. Keep going.
By the way, just as a reminder though, this was really important. This whole thing that we just did here, getting or, because after we do WH questions, we really liked this idea of saying or what at the end of this to produce yes no questions. Now that we have our or construction, it might show up a little differently, but that was progress. Now, for the David and Jesse name polls.
So, David, I found out it doesn't matter whether you use a v or a v in the protoform. It all comes out the same. So, like, you can choose which one you like better. It's going to come out the same. I give some options here, some of which, again, come out the same. But whether we make the D dental or not. So I did all combinations possible where both are dental, neither are dental. The initial D is not dental, but the final is, and then flip-flop those. And so you could end up having David, 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 David. These are all options depending on whether you have a dental D. My name is indeed harder, but I stuck with the AC ending because that captures the spirit of my name there. We can have Zesi, Desi, or Thesi. And one of my favorites is this Thesi because you get that fricative, so it's like you're getting somewhere close. But my favorite flower is a daisy, and so like these two are daisy, and that's cute. And this one, of course, comes out as Daisy, and that reminds me of Desi Arnaz, who is, of course, in I Love Lucy, which is
That's nice.
one of my favorite, probably my, is it my favorite TV show? I don't know. It's my favorite heart nostalgia TV show.
If I had to pick a favorite TV show for you, my first guess would actually probably be Friends.
Yeah. Friends are, you know, one that was surprising to me that's moving up the ranks rather quickly.
Buds?
Was Schitt's Creek.
Oh, that's a wonderful
That
show.
one really blew me away in terms of how much I enjoyed it and how much I enjoy rewatching it, which is one of the reasons I like Friends so much, is that I do very regular rewatches of the entire series, and I always enjoy it. And so that one, though, to me was very surprising that it kind of ramped up and took over some others that had been in the top spot on my rewatch list before that.
So I'm actually happy with all four of these options. I was imagining that there would be a lot more and that I'd have to narrow down. But as I see it, whether I have V or VA is free choice. I'll probably choose VA. But if you're happy with yours, we could just do 2 polls.
Okay.
Are you good with those?
Yeah, I took out the last one because it was silly.
Okay.
Because it comes out in the modern form as the same, and I would rather have the D to represent the, the daisy part of it. If I'm going to have a fricative at the beginning of it, I may as well just have a Z. And so,
No, David Ward. Okay. That's
yeah, Jonathan, I also don't know why you didn't finish it, but I recommend going back, and maybe it was just the wrong time and life happened and you just didn't have time to finish it. I don't know, but
These are all IPA, not romanization. Can you start 2 polls at once? No, you can't.
no. So let's give this a moment.
All right.
Lack of gumption.
Mm-hmm. No moxie.
But yeah, one danger I have when I do my rewatches is that I apparently really, really enjoy how Moira talks.
Mm-hmm.
And to some degree, Alexis, because like the way that she says the name David, and since I say the name David a lot too, it sometimes sticks a little bit. And so like the biggest problem is sometimes I'll start popping out with inflections that sound like theirs, but I don't think that's so bad.
I'm still waiting for me to just do something and you just go, ew, David.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. Here's another one. Oh my God, David.
Yes. Which one is? Oh, 13 Voids. We got quite a few.
Yeah.
God, I think I got too much sugar. I'm buzzy now. Mm-hmm. I think the Kopiko on top of the cupcake was more than my system was ready for, and now I'm like ready to start drumming on the table. And
yeah, since we don't have actual dental stops anymore in the language, I think this is a pretty accurate representation of how beavers would do the Spanish pronunciation of my names. That's pretty good.
That's like cool. That. Yeah.
All right.
I love Jake's comment. I return to a little bit Alexis quite often. I don't know how, but between my like third and fourth rewatches, I had forgotten about that bit, and so when I watched it again most recently, a little bit Alexis like surprised me all over again, and it was so delightful because I was like, oh my God, I forgot about this.
Which one is this? It's not ringing a bell at the moment.
Where she sings. She's auditioning for the show that her mom is producing, the community theater.
Right.
And she's like, I tried to be she had made a demo tape or whatever, and so she sings her I'm a Little Bit Alexis song. And yeah, it did not go over well. Yeah, when I say, Jonathan, I have rewatched the entire series of Friends many times. I am not lying. Like at least once a year, sometimes twice a year, and that has been ongoing since 2005. Because it ended in 2004, I think.
Yeah, I mean, those of us who grew up in my era, we've seen every episode of The Simpsons up to like season 14. I mean, each one at least over 10 times. I've seen almost every episode of Futurama over 10 times. Archer, Community, certainly. Some movies I've seen many, many times. Ones that I used to watch, I don't watch as much anymore. But yeah, when I was younger, Edward Scissorhands in Brazil. I've seen those dozens of times. Harvey, I've seen a bunch of times. We haven't rewatched it yet. Yeah. My Man Godfrey, I've seen over 100 times. It's a great one. Swing Time, another good one. Casablanca, I've seen a whole bunch. Glad I finally introduced you to that.
Yes.
Shocked that she hadn't seen Casablanca.
And then,
Lived
and
for
then I
40 years, never
introduced,
seen
hey, you
Casablanca.
had never seen National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I don't want to hear it. I introduced him to that one. Uh, and that one I have seen so many times because whenever I'm sick, that's my feel good movie. I'm like, put in National Lampoon's. Um, that one I do like.
Hmm.
But also, In Her Shoes is one of my I'm sick, I need to feel better movies. And Beautiful Girls, of course, which I introduced David to.
Yeah, that was a good one. Star Trek: The Next Generation. I've seen a lot too. Also Voyager, because that was running during college, so I've seen it a whole bunch. Um, oh, right, our poll. Um, oh, honestly, kind of surprised by this. Okay,
I'm happy.
all right,
I'm very happy with it.
there we go.
Thank you all.
So yeah, we'll put those polls up this week, but those are always supposed to be separate.
I've heard a lot of good things about Killing Eve, and so
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. You know what, David? I would love to use the last 14 minutes to
Uh-huh.
start talking about potential options for these WH word questions
Sure.
and build a poll around that.
Okay.
Whether the question is the actual forms of the WH word pronouns, which we have options, because they could be unrelated. They could be series of, like, these three come from the same protoform, but these other ones come from something else.
Mm.
Yeah, and we've done it in many ways. And, like, the one that I actually remember is Wokuthishu, where we had, like, a specific, I think it meant nose, was the original pronoun that was, like, just meant, like, what, basically. And then that got compounded with everything under the sun to make,
Yeah.
Who and where and all of that. Which was delightful because we had all these J words in Wokuthishu for those pronouns. So that's one option. Another one is that, like I said, like, who and what could come from completely different sources. Because, like, who could come from, like, beaver, like, some beaver did this versus some thing did that. We could also talk about placement. Are we going to have, that could be a simple poll, a two-way poll. Are these WH words going to appear in a prominent topicalized position, such as fronted at the clause beginning, or are they going to occur in place?
Yeah.
And that's a big decision. One that's a little bit easier to write up a poll for, especially when, pronoun options can be a little bit harder to write up distinct options for without just making it happen.
Okay. And I do have a radical suggestion for this. Not as to say we should do this, but as I think we can consider this as one of our options. So only two WH words. Who and what, and all WH questions. Who is it that? What is it that? And so we have, who is it that the beaver saw them? Who is it that they saw the beaver? What is it that the beaver saw it? What is it that it saw the beaver? What is it that the beaver sat there? Etc. And so these two little clauses will kind of shorten up, and they will occur at the beginning. I think. Should they occur at the beginning?
Hmm. Or verb final.
Um,
But
uh, it could be instead of that. It's or basically a tenseless. And this whole thing is going to smush. Also, this doesn't suggest that who and what have to be separate lexemes at the early stage. It could still be compounds.
my slow moving brain really wants to sit with this and come up with options syntactically that would make good sense, but like my brain is churning very slowly over this because I like this idea. It's different um, than just having a pronoun that we plop in, whether it's in place or fronted. Um, and and so I really like it, and I feel like we could play around with what it is that gets shortened, which could affect whether it makes more sense for it to be at the beginning or the end of the clause, which I find very intriguing. Um,
Let's call it a div cleft.
but I need.
Well, while you're thinking about that, I'm just going to share something different because it was really important to me that I share this with everybody. I had a dream last night where I was in Florida, and like for example, at one point in time, I was sleeping inside of a U-Haul, which is a thing that you rent to when you're moving houses here in the United States. And when I woke up, there was an alligator right next to me, and I was like, ah, and like, you know, I was like, how do we get out of here without this thing waking up and attacking us? And Jesse was like outside trying to like coax or pull the alligator out. I was like, don't do that. Don't do that. Just like, because you don't want it to. And actually kind of started to wake up and like snapped a little bit. Anyway, switched to a different place. But here was the part that I think was really alarming. Everybody knows kind of how werewolves work. Now, not all, but some incarnations of werewolves, the human form of the werewolf looks a bit wolfish. So, in other words, like, you know, for some, it's like any human being can be a werewolf. And the wolf version of them is just a wolfier version of them, sure. But for some of them, even when they're human, they look a little wolfy. Give them a little bit more hair up here, things like that. They look a little bit stockier. All right. In Florida, it apparently was the case in my dream that all alligators were were-alligators. And they could appear as alligators or they could appear as humans. These humans, though, didn't speak. They couldn't speak because they were alligators, so they couldn't speak or move a whole lot. But their human forms all looked like guys they were all male, a little bit stocky. They had long hair and like unshaven, like not beards, but just hadn't maybe shaved in a day or two. And they were all wearing those like wrap around cool guy sunglasses. And they kind of looked like tough bikers, but or maybe that they were trying to look like tough bikers, but really weren't tough bikers. And this was the human form of every single alligator, and they could change to this form or their alligator form pretty much at will, but they had less mobility as humans. And so, like, I looked into the house, which happened to be the living room, my parents' living room, as it used to be. And there were three alligators. Two of them were alligators, and one of them was one of these gentlemen. Anyway, and of course, I wanted those alligators to get out of the house so that I would not be in danger of them. But, like, it was clear they thought they were tricking us by, being in human form, right? They're like, oh, yeah, we won't know the difference. But it's like if you try to talk to them, they can't say anything. Outside, two of these alligators were trying to trick somebody else by, like, standing on one another's shoulders to look human and then going into the human form. And it's like, you didn't need to do that. Anyway. But yeah, that was the thing that struck me the most, was that all alligators had the same form as humans. Not that they all look like exactly the same person, but they all look kind of like these stocky guys trying to pretend that they're like biker dudes and trying to pretend like they're tough. Anyway, I just really wanted everybody to know that.
Okay, David.
Yeah.
I totally missed all of that because I was in my brain space. I feel like this is something you have to tell me later. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the beaver stacked the rocks. We're going to focus on just questioning who here. My ideas.
Our documents have not... My document is not caught up with yours.
I just typed that sentence down there.
No, but look at your fronted cleft and look at mine.
So mine isn't caught up with yours.
No, mine was never down there.
I don't know what happened because mine has been down there since you typed it.
Now my... You see what I'm saying?
Well, we'll fix it on your end.
It's going to do a double B. Look.
Yee! Okay, we're just going to leave it there because you're seeing what you need to see.
That is really troubling, though. Anyway.
Especially when you're creating languages and forms go that wouldn't go in English, and therefore you won't know that you just made a mistake. Okay. Okay, and then, so here's how they make sense. Which would actually be you who say, I think. So these are, I think, potential ways that we could get some sort of shortening. Where we would effectively, like, treat this as a copula, like, who is they stack the rocks, like it would be treating this as a clause, and then like is who. And I think na is a potentially most common form of a copula that would be used enough to, like, sort of be the base of this. Who did, something like they could just be the generic auxiliary to be like they stacked the rocks. Who did that?
Is this
and we could even like have who that did.
we're gonna call this like all option C.
Yeah, this is just like ways to make it make sense. This is this, but like with some, trying to, like, what might we have here? What are some options within this?
Pretty cool. I like that. All right. Yeah, I think this is great. We'll work on this to come up with a poll.
Okay.
I like this. I want to say it on the stream just so that there's some record of it beyond chat. Probably I should write it in here. But Snuggly Squid asked about how many, which doesn't neatly fit into this structure. And I came up with a potential way of doing it. So like how many let's say how many beavers ate at that restaurant, for example. You would say something like, what is it you say that a number of beavers ate at that restaurant, something like that. But it certainly doesn't work as easily as it does for these other simpler constructions that I generated. So
Also, next week we're streaming elsewhere, yeah?
oh, that's right, we sure are. Next week at this time, we will be, well, on Wednesday, we're going to be visiting UC Berkeley to give a talk. And on Thursday, we are going to be in San Jose with none other than Mr. John Quijada, creator of Ithkuil. We will be streaming from his place again. And so, if you want to chat with John at some point or have any Ithkuil questions...
Questions?
Questions. Then please come with them. Jake, is that going to be your actual birthday? Or is it just occurring during that?
I feel like their birthday is in 5 days. I think their birthday is on the 10th. That is my guess.
Jesse used to wish everybody a happy birthday, but
no,
then,
the 12th is Jake's actual birthday.
Then it was pointed out that, all viewers of our stream were just constantly victims of identity theft. So we had to stop that practice.
Everyone. I was wrong. Oh, yes. You should be sorry for not being born on September 10th. Oh.
Wow. Oh. September 12th, the new 10th.
Snuggly Squid has a birthday on Saturday.
Oh, how
And Jonathan
lovely.
has a birthday the day after Jake.
Yeah.
This is birthday season.
And one of my best friends had his birthday yesterday, Scott Yarbrough, September 4th.
You also had an aunt who had a birthday yesterday.
What?
Your aunt, Terry.
Seriously?
That's why they were on the cruise.
Really?
Anyway.
Oh my God. Seriously? Dang. That's my bad there.
So I'm here in David's life to keep him up to date on his family. Anyway, I think that's it. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful week. We will be back next Thursday for our on the road stream, but we are very excited about it. And until then, stay grammar.
Oh my gosh,
Artifactian!
Like, is it just...
You're still awake.
I don't know if it's still awake or this is just when Artifactian wakes up.
So happy you popped in, Artifactian. Much love to you.
Wow.
And to Biblaridian, and to Let's Have a Booba, and to Matthijs.
All right.
I love you all. Bye.
Bye.